Hey guys, what's going on? Mr. Simonini here. I'm excited to make my first video for you guys right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the quiz and some common mistakes I've seen on each of the problems. Please be free, like if you already know how to do 1 and 2, you can kind of skip through the video to the problems that you need to know. You do not need to watch this whole video, but I'm just going to kind of give you ideas of how to do these problems. I really like doing this because it somewhat keeps you guys accountable to make sure you know what you're doing. So understand if if you got a not yet on your quiz, it's not the end of the world. Just make the corrections. You can watch this video, obviously, on the questions that you got wrong initially to see what you can do in order to correct them. I'm going to tell you right now, this is probably going to be the when we do this, these are the parts of the e-learning experience where you're going to learn the most. So it's really important that, hey, if you did make a mistake, so what? Learn from it, because that's actually when you're gonna get something from this. So just please be patient with this learning experience. Please be patient watching this video, and if you have any questions, then any further questions, then please reach out to me. But anyways, throughout this video, you're gonna see me, I want you to understand what these letters mean. So remember, like B is the area of the base. Wait, I want to use my highlighter. There you go. So if you want to reference this, just please make sure you make note of it. One thing about surface area, just remember surface area. The way I think about it is, if I was going to dump the shape in paint, what would be covered in paint? And that's what I need to find. All those faces that are covered in paint, that's the areas I need to find. Also remember, lateral area is just the area of the sides. So whenever I ask about the lateral area, it's the areas of the sides, which means it's excluding the bases. All right, so let's go ahead and look at number 1. So if we look at number 1, I want to make a quick note about it. Most of you got it right, but I think the couple people who got it wrong, you're doing this part wrong. I think you're finding the area of the triangle and you use maybe 30 in accident. Understand the height and the base. They can be interchangeable right there. Like 24 can be the height and 18 can be the base. But understand those are the numbers that you want to use to find the area of the triangle. So there's number 1. So again, in each question, I'm going to give you the formula at the beginning. As you can see here, surface area is 2b plus pH. And then I'm going to kind of explain some of the common mistakes. So that was probably the common mistake there. 2, most of you got it right. I'm going to be pretty quick. But again, this is a formula that you want to use. If you want to call, again, your lateral area x, just call it x, and that's what you're trying to find. You're already given the base, which is 215. You're given the surface area, so you just have to plug and chug there, basically. Number 3. Okay, number 3 was one that some of us got wrong, and I want to clear up how to do this one. Now, some of you guys assume the radius to be 15. I think you just looks like 15, looks like it's half of it. That's not how you do it. This sentence right here is really important for you to understand. Sorry, right here too. The height of the cone is 2 times the length of the radius. So if this is the radius, the height's going to be 2r. And that's kind of the secret to this question. Because what you need to find is you need to figure out what the radius is, and then you can plug it into the formula. Now, in order to find the radius, this was the biggest mistake. You do Pythagorean theorem here. So 2r squared plus r squared equals 30 squared. So hopefully you recognize what was wrong, and it was this. A lot of you guys forgot your parentheses here, and you just kept it 2r squared, and then you got 3r squared. 2r squared, technically, remember, exponent rules, you're raising 2 to the power of 2 and r to the power of 2. So this part right here should be 4r squared plus r squared equals 900. So you should have had 5r squared equals 900, because these are like terms, right? 4r squared plus 1r squared is 5r squared. Anyways, I'm just going to put ... You can probably figure out r from there. Once you get your r or your radius, you can now you can use the formula correctly. So hopefully that made a little bit more sense. All right, with number 4, in this case, you're given the lateral area. The formula for lateral area is 2r pi h. You got h, you got the lateral area, so you just have to be able to solve this equation for r. And then when you get, when you're trying to find the area of one base, the base is a circle, so you need to find r basically here and then just plug it into the formula. Heads up, the pi's cancel. So that might help you out figure out what r is. And then 2 times 12 is 24. So hopefully, again, you can solve that equation, figure out what r is, and then plug it into your formula for the area of the base, which in this case for a cylinder, the base is a circle. All right. Number 5, a couple of people just made a mistake of this. It gives you the diameter, so be careful. The formula is radius, so you don't want to put 16 in there. You want to put 8 in there. All right. 6. Okay, this one, one of the more missed problems, really the last 3 questions. So if you look here, I actually made this mistake myself when I first did it, then I caught it. But the lateral edge is 9. So that's not the same as the slant height. The slant height is not 9. So this was probably the biggest mistake on the quiz, one of the biggest mistakes. So what you need to do is you need to use Pythagorean theorem in order to find your slant height. So this is really important. And then once you find your slant height, you can move on to your base. Remember, your base is a regular hexagon. Remember, the area of a regular polygon is 1/2 apothem times perimeter of the base. It is a 30, 60, 90 in there, so you can find A hopefully pretty easily. And then you just use the formula. Again, I think a lot of you guys, once you probably see that the slant height is not 9 and that you have to use Pythagorean theorem this way, I think, again, this is really important. I think you're going to be able to crack that. So again, just be aware of that. 7. Okay, number 7. Again, if you're like getting to the more difficult problems, try to search for my answer keys on the homework to see if you can find a problem that's very similar. And there actually was a problem very similar in the homework. I'm going to go down here. And I already took a screenshot of it for you. It was 12.3, page 582, number 19. It was actually its own PDF under 12.3. This is what you should have followed. It's the same exact question, just with different numbers. So if you need to look at this, again, you can pause it right now, look at it. You can look back in Schoology if you need to look at it to fully understand it. But I already did a problem just like this for you guys. Maybe you didn't see it. So again, you can always reference it if you needed to. So if you look back here, just to explain it even further, understand the surface area. Again, if I was going to, it's kind of like a block of cheese, if you want to think about it that way. You're dropping this block of cheese. I guess this sounds, I don't know, nasty, but you're dropping it into paint. I guess, I don't know, some art project or something, I guess. But anyways, what you're doing is you're finding the surface, you're finding the area of this sector up top, and don't forget, if you're going to drop this in paint, the bottom is going to get covered too. So you need to account for 2 sectors there. So so make sure you find the area of this top sector. Then you have to multiply it by 2 because you have a top and bottom. Then some of you guys are forgetting the rectangles. There's an area there. You got to find this area. And you have to find the area in the back as well. So that's what this part is. 2 rectangles. There's one on the right, one in the back. And then the part of this cylinder of the wedge. So again, this is this part. So you have to find the lateral area of that, and then you add them all up. Now again, if you need a little bit more help, there's a problem exactly like that one done right here. All right, so just please pause it, look at it, see what you did wrong, and just apply what you're going to have to change the numbers up here, obviously. But the idea is definitely right here and is in this problem if you need to look further. And then for number 8, it showed up in the quiz review. It was number 21. So if you look here, again, there's a problem that is just like that done here. So if you need to look back, you can look back. You can pause it, look at this real quick, see if you can get it. But I'm going to go up here. A lot of you guys were giving me 16 right here for X. 16 is not X because I think you were thinking it was bisected or something. That's not true. What you need to see is there's similar triangles here, and they're similar by angle because you have the right angle here, and then you have this angle here. They're overlapping, by the way. This is X plus 16. So what you need to do is you need to do this proportion right here. It is really important for you to find the correct X. FYI is not 16, so make sure you solve that. So again, cross multiply, you cross multiply here. That's the algebra that you should be doing, okay? So again, find x there, and then the surface area of the frustum, the whole thing, is the area of the top circle. So again, you have this top circle that will get covered in paint. You got this bottom circle that will get covered in paint, and then you have to find the lateral area of the sides of this frustum, which is probably one of the more difficult parts to understand. So hopefully this makes sense. Basically, you have two big cones. You have two cones. You have a big cone. So the big cone is this guy right here. That's the big cone. Okay, there you go. I circled it right there for you. And then you have the top cone, which is the smaller cone. So I'll do it in blue. So you have this cone as well. What you need to do, and that's what this is, in order to find the lateral area of, let's do a fun color. Let's do this orange. No, it's a little bit too similar. There you go. So you want to find this area here. It's a little bit too similar. Let's do gold. There you go. You want to find this, the area of the sides of this. In order to find the area of size of that frustum, you need to subtract the lateral area of the big cone. So you subtract that with the area of the top cone, and that will give you the remaining part, which is this gold part right here, which is the lateral area of the frustum. So if you look here, this is what this means. Understand that RL is different than this IRL. I'm saying those letters weird. RL, again, in this top cone is 6 and 8. RL in the bigger cone is 18, and then whatever you found for X, add 16 to it, and that would be your L there. And then you just do that subtraction, and then you add it to your area of your top circle and bottom circle. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, please, if you need a little bit more of a reference, you can look back at this problem right here. Anyways, please let me know if you have any questions. Again, if you got it not yet, just resubmit it on Schoology. If you still didn't turn it in, you still have time to do it right now. It is April 7th when I made this video. But please let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to me. Hopefully this made sense. And let me know if you like this video, by the way. It's always good to hear from you guys. All right, thanks.